Hello and welcome to the Indigo Minute Podcast. I am your host, Maxim Presence, the Ascension Alchemist. What is an Ascension Alchemist, you may ask? Well, alchemy is the ability to transform one thing into another thing. It's the ability to change your life from one experience into another experience. Now, without further ado, today's topic is how to create new habits. Everybody wants to change their life and create a new habit, do something that betters themselves. So, if you want to build a new habit, you have to have a conviction in that new habit. You have to have a conviction that this new habit will serve you, because new habits take time to create. It's a process to create a new habit. You have to begin to understand yourself a little more deeply and create inner reference points, inner convictions as to why this new habit has to be a priority in your life. Because the easier thing to do is just to not create the new habit. So you have to really understand why you want to create this new habit, so that it gives you more leverage into actually taking the action, consistent action, to create the new habit. Because a habit is something you do every day. It's something you consistently act on. But once you consistently act on something every day for 30 to 90 days, even 120 days, then it becomes automatic. It becomes an automatic behavior, a lifestyle choice, a way of being, a way of living. And what we want to do in the path of mastery, in the path of alchemy, of self-transformation, is we want to replace negative habits with positive habits. We want to decide and really take account of what do we want to have our life experience feel like and look like, and compare that to what our life experience is actually like right now. So if you're having a challenge in your life and you want your life to be different, you want to create a new habit so that your life will actually physically change, because your life won't change unless you take the actions to change it. But in order to take the actions, you have to have a very strong inner conviction so that your actions just become automatic. Because you can't take an action without a thought and an emotion that generates the motivation to automatically take that action. So an action is actually the result of what you think and how you feel. So if you work with your thoughts and emotions and your why, then the actions will become automatic. The actions will become easy. So what we work on together here and in this podcast is to become clear on the why, the thought, the emotion, how to actually create that new habit. So, like I was saying, you have to have a strong belief, a strong conviction in your new habit. You have to have a strong reason that will make it a priority for you to take those actions. So, there's a lot of things people want to create new habits in. People want to create a new habit in creating something new in their world, like a creative project, like a life purpose thing, like a career endeavor. You need to take daily action on your career so that you can actually have the career that you prefer rather than something that you don't enjoy. You want to maybe change the way you look or the way you feel. You got to start taking actions on to changing that. You got to create new habits of actually changing what you do on a daily basis. If you want to change the way you think about yourself, the way you feel about yourself, or how you physically look, it's all the same steps. New habits. You got to create new habits. Anything you want to change, you have to create a new habit. And usually, to create a new habit, it's a process of actually looking at it from two sides. One side is the things you don't prefer, all the blocks and the things that are keeping you from creating the new habit. That means you're looking at the shadow side. You're looking at the negative side, the side that's keeping you blocked from actually doing what you want to do. Then the second part is you want to look at your strong reasons of why this new habit is a priority, why it's the number one most important priority and burning desire in your life. It's a two-step process in alchemy. In order to change yourself from one thing into another thing, you have to look at the duality of the negatives that are blocking you from changing, and the positives that are strong enough reason for you to change. And once you get a clear idea of your negative blocks and your strong burning desires and reasons for why you want to experience this new habit, this new lifestyle change, then you can start actually going through the process of changing, because they're both necessary for the actual change to happen. So those are the two overviews of the creating the new habit. But let's dive a little bit deeper into both of those parts. So the first part let's look at would be the negative part, the negative side, all those negative blocks that keep you from actually creating the new habit. You have to start to investigate. I always say you have to really know yourself. The only way you're going to know yourself is by investigating what it is you actually believe about yourself. Once you actually understand, okay, I believe these negative things about me, then you'll have something to work with. If you don't look at those negative beliefs, they're going to stay in your unconscious, and they're going to continue to run their program. These negative beliefs are just like programs that you've unconsciously picked up from somebody saying something or you watching something, and you've sort of just taken that belief on from some point in your life. And the thing about reality is that it's very malleable, it's very flexible. You are able to change anything in it because it's within you. It's all made of you. So you get to decide what you want to create your life to be. And once you get to see, okay, I have these negative beliefs about myself, right? And these are the clear negative blocks that are saying, why I can't do this, why it's so hard, or why I'm not deserving or not worthy, or why whatever the negative idea is, it's something that's actually doing a really good job. It's a program that's running. It's doing a good job at being what it's designed to do. It's doing a good job at telling you how negative this thing is and how you can't actually change. So it's actually perfect in its creation. But when you recognize it, you can change it. You could say, okay, I see this negative idea and I'm going to change it. Okay, so now I'm going to write it down. I'm going to make it very conscious. These are my blocks, to the thing that's keeping me from experiencing what I want. Now, you're going to look at the positive side. You're going to look at this new habit. Let's say, it's to take action on a new career, or let's say you want to create more art. You want to create something new for the world, and you need to take action every day to do it. So you have to decide, or you want to change something about yourself, and you got to take action every day to do it. So you got to decide why why you want to do it. Why do you want to do it? Because there's a lot of things we may want here and there, but we're only going to get the things that we have a burning, passionate desire to manifest. That's because, your whims of wanting this or that or the other isn't going to manifest, because it takes a little bit of a process in this dimension, this physical dimension, for things to actually manifest. When you say you want something, if you just said on a whim, I want that thing, and it manifested instantly, then, life would change very quickly for you. So you have to kind of hold your passionate attention on the thing you want to manifest. If it's a big dream, if it's a big dream, it takes more of your attention to manifest it. If it's something small, it takes less attention. And it also has to do with your belief system. Again, how do you believe you can manifest it? Why do you want to manifest it? What is your burning, passionate desire to manifest it? Is it something that gives you, is it something you can't you have to manifest. You know what I mean? Is it something that's like a priority, something that you have to do? Otherwise, the alternative is, life of monotony or boredom or unfulfillment, like you have to create enough reason, enough positive reason as to why you want to manifest that thing. It has to be a genuine desire. You can't just kind of want it. You have to be all in. You have to fully want it all in. It's got to be like, this is life doesn't make sense unless this manifests, type of thing, type of idea, type of mentality. You have to have a strong mental attitude, right? So let's say the thing you want to manifest, it just seems so far out of reach, right? So you have your list of negative ideas of what's blocking you, and you have your positive list of ideas of why you want to manifest this, why it would benefit you, why you would enjoy it. You know what I mean? And now you have your two lists, and now you're like, okay, what do I do now? Well, the next step is to take action on your new habit. See how many times you can actually take action on it. So when a block comes up while you're taking action, you want to start to change your focus onto the action, on your burning, passionate desire. So whenever some negative ideas of why you're not good enough, why you can't do it comes up, you refocus on why you can do it, why it's a priority, why you must do it. And in future episodes, I'll go into so many more techniques of how you can actually clear some of these blocks consciously, and how you can affirm some of these positive intentions more strongly. But in general, what I want to say about moving into creating new habits is, don't beat yourself up if you fail at your new habit. So let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to make a change. Let's say your New Year's resolution is to, create that new career, and you have to take action on it. And you take action on it for 5 days or so, and then you fall off and get back into your negative patterns, right? That maybe you are distracted from it. You're, not doing it every day anymore, and you've fallen off the wagon, so to speak. You've relapsed back into your old habit of not doing the thing you say you want to do. This is a really important part of the process. You begin to realize that actually you've made progress. You've actually told yourself that you are doing this thing, and don't worry that you've fallen off the wagon. It's actually part of the process. Relapsing is part of the process, because believe it or not, the fact that you actually did it for even those 5 days means that you have changed your brain. You've changed your behavior. You've changed yourself, and you've created a new reference point. You've done it for 5 days, and then you fell off for 15 days, 20 days, right? But those 5 days that you did it, you've actually taken steps forward. You've created an experience, leverage, that you can now use to build more momentum next time you make those action steps. So what's important is you've taken the step forward. See, before, you haven't even taken the step forward. So you've actually made progress. Even though it seems like you've fallen off completely, don't deny the progress that you've made. So then you go again and you do it again. After the 20 days of falling off, you say, okay, I'm doing this, it's a priority, and then you do it again for another 5 days, 7 days, and then you fall off again. And then you fall off for 15 days, right? The thing is, you've now already taken multiple steps forward. You've done it multiple times. You've already done it for 5 days and 7 days. You've built up sort of a momentum inside yourself. It's like you've chipped away at the wall, you know what I mean? And then you try again. You do it again. You do it for another 5 days. Maybe it's 10 days this time. Maybe it's 2 weeks, and then you fall off. If you keep at the process of getting on the wagon and falling off the wagon, getting on the wagon and falling off the wagon, eventually those times that you've gotten on the wagon will build up enough momentum, because every time you're on the wagon, you're affirming the new habit. You're affirming it. You're saying, okay, this is why I'm doing it, because I genuinely want to do it. I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And you're actually building new reference points inside your psychology. And it may not seem like you're, because you think that, okay, I want the new habit. So if I'm not doing it consistently, I'm failed completely. But the thing is, to do the new habit, you have to commit. And sometimes it takes a process to get you there. It may take you weeks, it may take you months, it may take you even a year or 2 years to create a new habit if it's a big habit to create, if it's a big lifestyle change. Like if you've had a negative habit of not following your excitement, of not, of being in some kind of negative experience for decades or years, it may take you a few years to shift out of it. And the process of shifting out of it is sometimes getting on the wagon and getting off the wagon. And so don't think one of the biggest hangups with people making progress is that they think that, falling off the wagon is somehow not, is somehow like completely devastating. It's not. It's part of the process. Getting on the wagon, as long as you get back on the wagon enough times, eventually you'll have gotten on the wagon enough times that your new habit just clicks. You just have a breakthrough and you make that final decision and you don't fall off the wagon anymore. You fall off the wagon enough times and get back enough times that on that, maybe it's the 10th time you're on the wagon after falling off 9 times. Maybe it's that 10th time that the habit clicks in. You know what I mean? So to create a new habit, you have to be okay with not having the habit immediately follow through on your first few attempts. It's like riding a bike. If you want to learn to ride a bike, you may ride the bike a few times and fall off multiple times. But there's that one time where after riding it multiple times, you get the hang of it, and finally you're just able to ride the bike, and you literally can ride the bike forever because that habit is now permanently anchored in your consciousness. It's like, once you know how to ride a bike, you could ride it at literally pretty much any age. You could stop riding it for like years and then just get back on and ride it. You know what I mean? It's like you can learn to drive a car, then not drive a car for years, and then drive the car and be fine. It's like once you create that habit, it's there unless you decide to consciously uncreate it. And so with these big challenging habits that are really important to you, like creating that new career opportunity or creating that relationship or creating that new habit of changing how you look, how you feel, how you're thinking on a daily basis, those habits are challenging to change. And don't be surprised if you're going to be falling off the wagon here and there until you finally get the hang of it and the new habit clicks in. So the big takeaway from this podcast of creating new habits is this. This is a little recap for you. Number one, you got to take inventory of your negative ideas about, what's stopping you from creating the new habit. What do you believe is true about yourself that is preventing you from taking this new habit, acting on this new habit? You make a list of that. The next part is make a list of your strong desire. Why is it that you want to make this new habit? You know what I mean? Why do you want to ride that bike? Or why do you want to, drive that car? What is it going to give you? Why is it a priority? Why is it your top intention? You know what I mean? Why does it have to manifest? Why does life not make sense until this manifests? So now you have that list. So you have a strong belief system, a strong conviction of why you're doing it. And then you have a strong understanding of all the inner enemies, the inner foes that are going to try and stop you from doing it. So you know your enemy, so you could defeat it when it arises, and then you know your reason, which is the sword or your leverage for defeating the enemy that comes up for when you do look to create the new habit. So it's like you have your your inner enemy of what's sabotaging you from creating the new habit, and then you have the antidote, which is your burning reasons, your number one reason that can destroy that enemy when it comes up. It's saying, okay, no, you can't do it, it's too much work, you don't have what it takes. Then boom, but then you have your conviction that just annihilates that negative enemy internally and says, I have to manifest this. If I don't manifest this, my life will be monotonous. My life won't be fulfilling. I have to manifest this because this is what I was born to do. I have to manifest this because I want to feel amazing about myself, and this is what will make me feel amazing. This is who I am. That's why I'm manifesting it. So that annihilates that inner enemy, right? And then the third thing of this recap is you have to be aware that falling off the wagon is part of the process. So if you fall off the wagon, don't beat yourself up about it. Know that you're just going to get back on. And sometimes it may take you a few days to get back on. Sometimes it'll take you a day. Maybe it'll take you weeks. But as long as you get back on, as long as you use that positive reason, that positive burning desire to say, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get back on. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again. I'm going to keep at it until it clicks, until it's a daily habit, until I do it every day, because life changes based on what you do every day. Your life is what you do every day. So the actions you take. And the actions you take are the result of the thoughts and the emotions you feel about yourself. Your reasoning, your purpose, your intention behind the action is what drives the action. So that's how you create a new habit. You create the new habit by understanding your inner enemy, the reasons and blocks to why that new habit is challenging to create. You have to understand your burning, passionate desire, why it's the most important thing for you to manifest. And then you have to be easy on yourself and get on the wagon every time you fall off, meaning you got to keep getting on the wagon. You got to keep creating the new habit, keep taking action on the new habit. You're actually making progress every time you get on the wagon. So never stop getting on the wagon when you fall off until that new habit is anchored, until you do it automatically, until it's a lifestyle, until your lifestyle change is completely integrated. And if it's a big dream, if it's a big transformation, it may take years. It may take months. So know that it's a long-term thing, and be easy on yourself. And every time you get back on the habit, you've made progress. And expect to fall off the wagon if it's a big dream, and expect to get back on until 100% you've now achieved your inner vision is now your outer reality. So that's how you create a new freaking habit. And there's a lot of different tools. Like I said, I'll be sharing of how to, clear these negative beliefs or affirm the positive beliefs on future episodes of the Indigo Minute podcast. And speaking on creating new habits, you are welcome to message me, email me, indigominute@gmail.com, because, you create that new habit with the help of an expert. It's like when you go to work out at a gym, you want to hire a trainer so that you're more successful. It's easier to, make those gains in the gym. Same thing with making a change in your life, life coaching. I'd say it's Ascension Coaching. Hit me up. I'm an expert. I'm the best. I will help you make the change you want to make, your personal change. Everybody's different. Everybody has different complexities to their beliefs, what they believe they can't do, what they believe they can do. And it takes an expert to help somebody accelerate that transformation. With my help, you can accelerate your transformation 10 times faster than doing it yourself. But one of the things that I always will say is you're empowered to make the change yourself every time. You don't need anybody else. But if you want a little shortcut, message me and you'll get there a little faster. But that does not mean you can't do it yourself. You can totally do it yourself. You have the power. You've got the juice. Hit me up for the shortcut or do it yourself. Either way works. Many, many blessings. Again, I'm Maxim Presence. Go to indigominute.com for more free content and ascend. Raise yourself up. Make the best version of yourself. Live your best life and bless everybody with your gifts, with your presence, with your self. We're all one. We're all amazing pieces to the puzzle, and we need to share what we are here to share. So thank you. I love you. Many, many blessings. I genuinely love you. Peace.